Wednesday. I feel much better now. I woke up in a very blah mood. So Nate never called us last night. And that's very unlike him. And so at like 10:30, had nothing happened with the water and stuff, I might have believed he was just adjusting to camp and just was too whatever to call us. Which I told him that was fine when he left. I said, you know, don't feel like you have to call us for me. I said, but don't hesitate to call anytime you want to. And so it was just weird yesterday because I didn't hear from him hardly at all. And the first day I heard from him like 5 times. Something didn't add up to me. So we called at like 10:30 and try to log into work at the same time. We called at like 10:30 and they said, sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once. They said that he was asleep and had been asleep for hours. I said, okay. Because another concern that I had, again, if this water issue hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have even thought twice about it. But another concern that I had was that it was lightning and thundering, and they're in the woods with trees. But he claimed it wasn't lightning and thundering up there, which is a half hour away, so it's fine. But he said, I mean, I could wake him up if you want. I said, yeah, let's do that. He goes, well, the problem with that is that then we have a hard time getting him to go back to sleep. And I said, no, that won't be a problem with Nate. He said, I just don't really want him to not be able to get back to sleep. I said, if it's a problem, I can come up and wake him up myself. I can be there in a half hour. He goes, no, we'll wake him up. So like, they're just getting snotty with me. And they're getting, like, because I told him, I said, nobody's telling him he can't call, right? Because something is definitely going on. I know my son definitely better than they do. And there's no way he went from as terrified as he was on Monday to yesterday in the morning he called me. I called there in the afternoon. But I get, people are standing over him, I can tell. I can tell just with the way that he's talking. And same with last night. I could hear them right in the background. I mean, I don't know. So Paul and I tonight, we have to run him up a towel. He's missing a towel, and Paul asked him last night if his watch was dead. I don't know if he was fully awake at that time, but he said it was. So we're going to go up, we're going to grab the watch, because I can't find the portable charger. Wherever happened to that after Florida. And we are going to take it, charge it. It'll charge very quickly. Maybe like, I don't know, at most like an hour or so, I hope. That's how long it normally takes. I hope the phone charger in the car won't be any different. And then just give it back to him. But we're going to kind of pull him aside and get to talk to him with nobody around. Because when I asked him last night on the phone, I said, do you still want to come home? He said yes. So he's scared to talk in front of them. I don't know what the deal is. And then he said, when he called me yesterday morning, he said, we just did the polar bear jump in the water. And he said he went in the water, which I thought was kind of odd too. I said, well, that's great. I said, I'm so happy and so proud of you. But I don't know. And I know, like, I hate people that think all kids are the same, because this happens with the school too. I know my kid, okay? I know my kid better than anyone knows my kid except for my husband. And for people to tell me how my kid is that have known him for, at that point, 24 hours is ridiculous. And this whole entire thing, I regret it every single second. I was telling Paul last night, I said, you know, I don't mean to whatever. I just don't have a good feeling about this. I just know that ever since this happened and they took his watch from him and then gave it back to him, everything is very short conversations, yes, no answers. It just feels off. And, I mean, I was thinking about it last night. I think, well, you know, maybe I'm just being over paranoid. But then Paul said to me, he goes, you know, ever since I've met you, he said, I look at things more carefully. He said, because you're never wrong. And I hate to say it, but I'm not. When I have a feeling about something, I was telling him, the only time I can ever remember, I mean, generally, what, buddy? I see it. You're taking pictures. Generally, when I have feelings about people, it's right. It's always right. I can only think of one time in my entire life that I had felt a way about a certain person, and it turned out to not be correct. I used to work with this girl, which we're still very good friends to this day. But when I first, like, my first impression of her was that she was very snotty. She was very, she's very guarded, is what it is. And she's had a rough life. But, that's the only person my first impression has ever been wrong about. And, like, when we were writing back and forth about the camp, because I hadn't heard anything, and I started writing back and forth with who was going to be his den leader, I knew it immediately. She didn't want us to have contact with him. She said, can I turn this up? Yeah. Why don't you turn the other TV off, okay? Here you go. When the camp person, the overall camp person, said, we've had parents send packages, and we've had parents send letters, and all that's fine. She wrote something to the effect of, well, I've never had any parents do that, and you have to understand that sometimes that will make the kids feel more homesick. And so I just knew that she didn't want us to have a lot of contact with Nate. And I don't like that. And I've told people that, especially with the Boy Scouts who have the history that they do. You think that above anything they would want the communication, they would want, because I think I told you guys when we were there in front of the water the night that we went up there, and she said to me, well, we used to only have a payphone. I said, well, that worked out real well for you, didn't it? Thousands of abuse claims later. I bought these. They're hard seltzer. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon, so I feel like I'm entitled to drink it. It's just been a rough week. I have not been sleeping well. I don't know. I just need to talk to Nate, and I need to talk to Nate by himself so that I can understand. And if I talk to him, I mean, maybe he's just tired. He's getting up earlier up there. They're doing a lot. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not any other rational explanation, but I just am not going to feel better till I talk to him and I can fully understand how things are going. I just feel like with the limited amount of phone calls we're getting and his answers while we're on the phone, I just feel like if he were in such a good place where that he's not. I just know he's not. So we're gonna go up tonight and talk to him. I don't care. All I need is 5 minutes with him, and they're not gonna tell me I can't see my son. What, buddy?
I want Bugs Bunnies and I want Mimi.
You do. It says low storage, so I don't think you can play. Is it just gonna play?
Yep.
There you go. You can play it. So that's it. This week there's been very little work. I've gotten very little done. I had great expectations because when Nate and Keegan are both here, they fight of getting stuff done, but everything is still a disaster in my house. This has really taken a toll on my anxiety and depression, and this is what always does it. Like, I just get very overwhelmed. I feel like there's nothing I can do, and I don't know. I regret not taking him home that night. I regret it so much. I don't know. If I could just talk with him and not have 50 people around, that'd be great. So, that's my day. We're going to go up there tonight and see what's what. I'll try to take the video camera because this was just supposed to be such a different week. And it's just, when they tried to downplay the fact that he was struggling in the water, I know. I should have, I was so, like, I'm thinking back of all these things I should have done and said, And that night, him and I were outside before anyone else came out. And then, of course, they followed him right out there. That alone makes me very nervous, is the fact that, like she had said that night, don't call your mom until you talk to me. No, you call me first, and then you can talk to her. I just don't like it. I just, everything feels so off with this. And another thing I always say, that's part of my job. That's what I do. I work for a PI firm. I mean, that's part of what I do, is to be able to tell when people are lying or tell when something doesn't feel right. I mean, that's all. I mean, seriously, my reports that I type up, if somebody's giving me... Oh, maybe the battery's dead. Let me charge it, okay? I'll charge it right now. I mean, I'm supposed to trust my gut. And like I said, my gut is very rarely wrong. So, we're going to head up there. Yeah, but I think it's dead. We're going to head up there and see what the deal is. And then, I don't know, maybe Nate will be coming home with us tonight. And if he comes home before this time is up and it's because of the way they're treating him, oh, I will so go to the council. I will talk with the executive again, and we will get our money back. And he will never go to that camp again. So, that's my day. That's it. What you doing, kiddo? Keegan's been being okay with Nate gone. I don't know. He doesn't seem to really matter. He did say something. I said, last night when I was waiting for him to call, I'm like, where is Nate? Why isn't he calling? He's like, Mom, Nate is at camp. It was funny. Very funny. These waters were cheaper than the, what were the other ones we got? I don't know, we got the other ones. What? No, I'm not blowing up any balloons. Alright, bye people, see you later. This is Nate's camping thing. It's a mess, I can already say. I was hoping I'd see his watch out here, but I don't see it. So we're home now. We spent some time with Nate. He wanted to come home. I wouldn't let him. 2 more days. 2 more days to get through. We're going to go for a walk. We're having a national night out tonight. And so we're going to head over there.
How fully we can carry us away captivity and bind it to a song. How can we sing the song in its
What do you think, bud?
Don't you dare! No keys on this one. Uh-oh. Yeah. Bye. Bye.
What do you think, buddy? You stuck him?
Go to him. Oh, you tried.
Good enough, kiddo.
You're in the sky with love, in the child in my heart.
Go get them all. Finally, Paul. Here.
Sit right there, and then move the controllers, the knobs, and then move them back and forth, and it moves the...
Keegan wanted to run around.
What?
I said Keegan wanted to run around.
Run, run, run!
Okay, keep running around.
Running!
He wants to run too.
Her Paul's knee hurts. No, you stay on the blacktop. So look at the new things happening. So it's the end of the night. We are headed up to bed. More camp drama. Nate, they charged his watch today. He called me tonight and He says his leader's being mean to him, which I witnessed it myself today. She's just a rude biatch. And he said that she told him not to call us unless something was wrong. I don't know. Is this a battle I need to fight? I don't know what to do. I'm at a point where I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I tried to get a hold of somebody up there. Nobody's answering their phones. Because last night I said to them, it seems really odd to me that Nate hasn't called. Has someone said something to him? Oh, no one has said anything to him. Whatevs. So, we're going to bed. Nate was going to bed. He was tired. I'm going to see how he is tomorrow. If he's like he was tonight, he wants to come home. If he's like that tomorrow, I'm just going to go up and get him. I'm done. This has been like the week from hell. If he's fine and he's, slept it off and he's good, he can finish out the week, but I'm just done. Are we done, Daddy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Night-night. Hey, friends. It is Friday night. The kids went to... Well, I guess you don't know. I didn't film yesterday, so Nate ended up coming home yesterday morning. It was just an absolute disaster up there. It was like the worst experience ever. He wants to quit Scouts. He never wants to go camping again. Like, it was just such a bad experience. So Wednesday night, he was really unhappy and wanted to come home. And I told him to try to stick it out. And then at the very end of the conversation, he finally told me that he was told by the den leader that was doing this, not his normal den leader, that he was told he was not to use the watch to call me unless there was a problem, and if there was a problem, he was taught to talk to her first. And that was not at all how we left things Monday. As a matter of fact, it was exactly the opposite. I told him he can call me anytime he wants, and he can call me first, and then we can bring her in on whatever needs to be brought in. But she got pissed off on Monday because he called us, and then she continued to treat him like crap because of it. When I went up there, I don't know. In all honesty, it was a very emotional week. I don't know when I last updated you guys, but I ended up going up Wednesday, and she walked by me like 3 times, didn't even speak to me. Like, she's just a witch. I mean, I don't have a nicer way to say it. She's just not a very nice person, clearly, and she thinks that she thinks she can bully kids, clearly, and not my kid. So, just trying to sew on some patches for Nate onto his blanket here. So I'm up in my bedroom. I've spent most of the day up here. As you can hear, I'm not feeling. It's not even. I feel fine. It's just I started to develop a cough, and I just know that it's from stress of dealing with Nate. But anyhow, we went up yesterday and got him, and there was a little bit of an aftermath blowout that I was not prepared for. He was very angry yesterday. I mean, very angry. Everything was setting him off. I mean, he was upset, and I think that he was a little angry at us too because we didn't pull him out on Monday. In hindsight, I absolutely regret it, and I think he was really miserable. But so I went up, I didn't work yesterday. I went up, I got him, it was probably 8 o'clock that I got him, 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's like a half hour away. And I brought in, coming back, like the more I was thinking about it in my head, the more like I was stewing over it. So I ended up going to the Boy Scout Council in our area that oversees everything. And the guy that I had talked to last week about the fact that we did not get any kind of like information on the camp at all, I ended up having a meeting with him and the guy that oversees the camp stuff. I don't know exactly, the guy that is like the head of everything. He's an executive. He's a scout executive, I guess is his title. The camp guy, I really don't know what his title was, but he oversaw all the camping operations. And I just told him, I basically was very calm. I even started crying at one point because I told him, I said, Nate came home, he's like, I don't want to do Scouts anymore. And I told him, I said, Nate, you can't let this one person ruin something that we have enjoyed and loved this year. We have loved everything we've gotten to do with Scouts. And we even talk about things like this previous year, like it was only Nate and Paul that did a lot of the camping. We talked about me getting involved in that. And you know I gotta love kids. I gotta love my kids to go camping. But I feel like he's softening a little bit to that. And we don't really have, in the summer, it's not super busy. We have like a water day coming up with them, just like at the splash park, coming up with them in, I don't know, like maybe 2 weeks or so, before school starts again, before all the regular stuff resumes. I think that he'll be okay. I think he just needs to get this out of his system. It was just such a horror. It was not only horrible because, and that's what I told the Scout guy, I said, I was so happy with everything I was able to articulate to them. And I just basically told them that, you know, Nate was terrified. He had a very terrifying experience. And her answer, his den leader's answer to that, was to take away his only line of communication with his parents. And he's 8 years old. The Scout executive was pissed. I have no doubt that she's either not going to be there next year or will definitely have a change, I hope, in attitude. I honestly got the feel that maybe she would no longer be there. And I never want to take, like, pleasure in someone else's misery, but you know what? She doesn't deserve to be there with the way she treated my son. It was obviously a struggle with power with her, and she wanted it, and I wouldn't give it up, and that pissed her off, so she treated Nate like crap. So Paul asked if I got our money back, because initially he said last week if we didn't want to go because we hadn't received anything, he'd give me my money back. I didn't ask him for our money back when I went in to meet with him, just because I didn't want it to be about that. I didn't want it to be about, I didn't want him to think we wanted our money back because Nate couldn't handle it. And we were just trying to put it on the Scout leader. I wanted it to be about her. And in reality, I mean, Nate only missed 2 days. I don't know. I try not to think about the money aspect because it's not about the money. It's about the fact of the way Nate was treated. So we'll see. We went up last night and we got his stuff because I couldn't get his stuff in my car because the bin was so big. All of his stuff had to wait for Paul. So we had to ride up there again last night to get his stuff. We came home immediately and we started going through everything. And a couple things were missing. So his clasp for his neckerchief was missing, which really ticked me off because that was brand new. It was this bear one that I just bought for him like a month or so ago. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm sorry. And then his t-shirt for camp was missing, which I'm pretty sure they just took. It wasn't missing, but that's beside the point. His camping light, he has like a square camping light that was missing. And a sweatshirt that he had left that like in the bathroom or something. I doubt it was a Gap sweatshirt. I just got it at the thrift store. I probably paid $5 or so for it, so it's fine. I think that's it, but he called today and they were able to find everything except for his t-shirt and the camp sweatshirt. Paul told him that we wanted another t-shirt. It was part of the money that I paid. I've already been screwed out of 2 days of camp because of her. He's getting the damn t-shirt. So he was going to talk to whomever. I don't know. Maybe I should write an email and ask for him. I just don't know. I don't know how to handle it. The thing is, too, is I hope that there will not be fallout at like our local level, because this woman that was his den leader, she was actually the pack master of his den years ago. Like she had stopped, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years. Maybe not, because his den leader now knew her. I don't know, but she a couple years ago was the den leader, and I know there's people that still think highly of her, but I don't care. It was, I don't know, because I'm supposed to go to like a PAC committee meeting and stuff, I think if not next week, the following week, and I know that it's going to be asked how his camp was, and it was just a terrible experience. I'm not going to lie. It was a horrendous experience. I was thinking today, of all my time in motherhood, this is right up there as one of the top worst moments. And not because of anything I thought at the beginning of the week, because I thought, I was praying that Nate made it through, because I knew it'd be hard for him. But that wasn't the issue at all. And, I don't know, the scout executive did say they were making changes for next year. He did not agree that Nate, as a non-swimmer, should have been prompted to jump into water over his head. He did not agree that that whole situation happened, and he did not agree when I told him that she had made the comment that, she clearly was against any kind of communication with the parents. And when I told him that she had made the comment that there used to only be like a payphone up there, he said, this is 2019, she needs to get with the program. He was not happy with her, and that makes me feel good. It makes me feel justified, and it makes me feel like something will be done. Rather, she's just spoken to, I mean, she was just a bully. That's what it boils down to. She bullied my kid. And as an adult, like, you don't do that. You don't just, I told Paul this, I'm always reminded, if you guys ever seen the movie Matilda with Danny DeVito, and he always says to a little girl, I'm big, you're little, I'm smart, you're stupid. Like, just because he's bigger than her, he thinks that, that's what it reminds me of. I don't care, and that's why I've always taught Nate, you don't have to respect people that don't respect you. Respect is a two-way street. And I regret leaving him there. I absolutely regret leaving him there. We should have pulled him out Monday. But the camp, scout executive said, he goes, clearly you tried to stick it out. Clearly you tried to do everything. And it was her. So the kids are with my sister. They're going to a fair tonight. We have to get ready. I got all the clothes put away, and almost all of the laundry's done, because this weekend we're going with we're going with his den leader to go camping. This is the first time I've been camping in probably like 30 years. I haven't camped since I was a kid. We're gonna camp in our new tent. It's just for one night. It's at a local park with like a lake and stuff. Just like it's like, I don't know, 20 minutes away or so. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's her and her two, she's actually a twin. Paul's a twin too. She's a twin and then has another sister. It's with her other sisters. I think it'll be a really good time. And I think that Nate will be able to play with her son, and I think that it'll be, I'm not going to pressure him to go in the water. I'm going to take his swim stuff. And I told him, I said, you don't have to go in at all, but I have a feeling that he's going to go in, he's going to be fine. But if not, there's going to be no pressure. So, but that is pretty much our Friday. So Paul and I, we're finishing up laundry. He's got to clean out the back of his truck, and we can start getting some stuff loaded tonight. I just got groceries. I'm going to make a couple of salads. I'm going to make a fruit salad and a pasta salad tonight. And then, here comes Paul. And then I'm going to start to get my list together as to what we have to have tomorrow for the kids and stuff. So that's it for tonight, probably, and this week. So definitely going to have a better weekend and better next week. See you later. Bye.